Hi there, welcome to Homekeepers. Grab yourself a cup of tea and join me today. You will be glad you did. But before I tell you who the guest is, I just want you to know that I'm glad you're there. And I just came from my office going through a stack of letters that I will sign when I'm finished here. And I can't tell you how it warms my heart to go through your notes and things that, in this fast-paced society when no one has time for anyone else, I'm deeply moved when somebody buys a card and they sign it and they put a little message in it. Thank you all for that. It means a lot. Now, I have missionaries here today, and I've told you so many times how I love missionaries. Being a preacher's kid, you know, we could remember when the missionaries would come to the church. And I've mentioned this before, but some of you that were my age, you'll certainly relate. We have a lot of different technology now, but used to when a missionary left, they were gone for 4 years. They'd go on a boat, usually. And now they can be back and forth. They have technology that is getting the word of God out there. It's just a wonderful time to live. And I'm glad to have Kurt and Debi Holthus back. They've been missionaries a lot of places, mostly the Dominican Republic. I'm anxious for them to tell you, and we'll show you some exciting things that are going on there. And I think the main reason I like to have them here is because of all the viewers out there. You're all over the United States, and you can know what God's doing around the world. It's very encouraging. So if you haven't met them, you will love them. And I'm going to join Stephanie for, this is so ridiculous, it's called Heavenly Chicken. I think that's a stretch. I've had some really good chicken in my life, but I couldn't call any of it heavenly, sorry. But this is a very simple one, and we're going to try it and taste it, and we can either recommend it or not, all right? Before I join Stephanie, though, I'm going to offer again this wonderful booklet by Beth Moore, Promises for a Fruitful Life. I love that statement. I just love it. Don't you want a fruitful life? I do. And she has taken the scriptures out of the Bible that can enlighten you on that and get you on a path toward it. So it's yours for any gifts to the program. You can use your credit card or your debit card with that telephone number. And also you can write to me at Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida, 33758. And we'll get it right out to you. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. And I have joined Stephanie. I want to tell you about a conversation I had with Sharon Bailey this morning. Mm-hmm. I think it's a little lesson in generations, because my mother in that group, they had everything from scratch, everything.
Yes.
And so that became like a holy thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh, she bakes from scratch. And then my generation, we fudged it a little bit. And so I was very embarrassed to bring this recipe on here. It is disgustingly easy. But my guest, Debbie here, and you guys were talking. You've both done it. Something very similar, so I don't apologize.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's easy. It's tasty. What more could you want?
Let me tell you something else. We had Thanksgiving at my daughter's home, and she's a very good cook, and she's very well organized, and her gravy was out of this world. And she said part of the ingredient was a package. And she learned it from the great chef on Food Network. They're all cutting corners.
Yes.
Thank God.
You might as well. If you can and it tastes good, why not?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a 16-ounce tub with sour cream. I have garlic powder, salt, and pepper. I'm going to mix that all together. You're pretty much just standing and looking beautiful today, so that's a good day.
And she looks like a surgeon with these
with the gloves on, yes, but we're handling chicken, so we're going to be safe. Salt.
I think when you handle chicken, it's probably a good idea to have gloves anyway.
Yes. So I'm just mixing that in the sour cream, which is different. When I made it, I mixed it in the crackers. So this is a little different than the recipe I made. Also, if you're doing keto, okay, you could do pork rinds. You could crush up pork rinds and do this. Yes.
Now, Debbie said she did it with mayo. This is
sour cream. I did it with mayo and Cheez-Its.
These are Ritz crackers, but Cheez-Its would be more flavorful, I would think.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. Although this will be a buttery cracker, so that's good. Okay, let me get rid of this.
All right.
Okay, are you ready?
Here goes the surgeon.
Yes, we have tenders and we have thighs.
Thighs, yeah.
Yeah, you just dredge it in the sour cream mixture with the yummy spices. You dredge it in the...
It has a lot of garlic powder in it too. That's good.
Yes, so good. Just some flavor, and it's very, very moist and tender, this recipe.
And then you bake
And
it.
then you put butter, melted butter on it. Don't skip that wonderful.
And then you bake it 45 minutes on 425, which is pretty hot for a long time. I think we didn't quite go that
Yeah.
long, but Susan was watching it.
And you always want to make sure chicken's done.
Yes.
No raw chicken.
Yes.
That would be awful. Okay, let me do 2 tenders. I'll do 2 thighs.
Thighs.
And then I'll do a little butter, and then you can bring the
Okay.
other over. Okay. Oh, look at these yumminess.
I'm very anxious to taste it.
Yeah, so good. It's good. I know it's good. I've made it.
But you know, I guess it's from my generation. I agonized over this recipe. I thought it's just
Please,
so
with the
simple.
recipes that we've done, this is the one you agonize over?
It's only like 2 ingredients with a little salt and pepper.
Yeah, but it's so good and so easy. And for all those working mamas or non-working mamas or daddies or whatever, you go home, this takes 5 minutes and you're done.
I think it's
Make a
wonderful.
salad,
Yeah.
maybe a vegetable.
But you know, like my mom's group, they did everything from scratch, whether
Yes.
it's baking a pie or a cake or.
And then you drizzle. Oh my.
Yes.
Yes, and bring that over. Oh, so good.
I am so.
Again, if you're doing keto, you can do pork rinds.
I'm going to just take a little taste because I
Okay.
got to talk to people.
Yes.
There
So
you go.
good. It's delicious, right?
I would fix that for company.
Yes. So good. And it's moist, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that sour cream or mayonnaise, whichever you choose to use.
It's very good.
It's got texture, it's got flavor. It's delicious.
I would do that. I would absolutely do that.
So good.
It was so simple. Maybe you remember it, but if not, the recipes are free, and that information is coming up on your screen. And we'll get it out to you the way you want us to send it. And please stay with me. If you haven't met these wonderful missionaries, you're going to love to hear what God is doing through them, mostly in the Dominican Republic. It's a great story, so stay there.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, you may receive it by contacting us through social media as listed on the screen. When requesting a copy through the mail, be sure to include a self-addressed stamped envelope. Thank you, and please know we always appreciate hearing from our viewers.
All right, I am absolutely thrilled to welcome back to the program Kurt and Debi Holthus. And you know, when it comes to like operating a church or any kind of a ministry, they're all different, they have a plan. This ministry is so impressive because it's so hands-on, and somehow God has given Kurt the ability to find what he needs to really help hundreds and hundreds of people. You tap into, I'm not talking about the Red Cross, but things like that, where you get product that people needs, and you can help them with their need and then tell them about Jesus. That's what he did.
That's it.
Absolutely. It's so good to be back,
Thank
Arthelene.
you.
Thank you so much for having us. You know, what we do is we travel the country preaching throughout the fall in churches, gathering medical supplies and medicine and things that can help the people of the Dominican Republic, which is just about anything we can get our hands on. And then we take that and ship it to the Dominican Republic, usually $10 to $12 million worth of medicine and medical supplies every year in a container. And we put together a team, a medical team, evangelism team, construction team, and a basketball clinic, as well as a pastor school, ministering to over 2,000 pastors every year in a conference. But we have about 250 to 270 doctors, nurses, and surgeons.
So
and
where do you get the product?
Oh, it comes from everywhere. There are people out there listening right now that have wheelchairs that they don't need anymore, and walkers and all
even
kinds of
beanie
things.
babies, because
Beanie
it,
Babies.
We
hygiene-
need beanie babies.
beanie babies.
They're
We-
worthless to you at home. Give them to us.
Right, and they're probably a real treat in the Dominican.
They're a treat, and we do hygiene bags. So everyone that comes through a clinic gets to see a doctor, gets free medicine, everything is free.
Complete checkup.
Complete checkup.
That
and
really
then
what sets you apart, I think.
it's
very
been
unique.
amazing.
Now, another thing I think the Lord has helped you do is to reach officials, government officials. See, some countries, they don't want missionaries. They want power, and you set people free in Jesus, they might change the whole landscape.
Yes.
And so the Lord has opened doors for you that way. We have a video. I mean, when I saw it, I just had to grab a Kleenex because I knew what was going on. Unless you know how the Spirit of God works, you might not catch it right away. But tell us, who is this gentleman we're going to be looking
This is
at?
Mr. Carlos Andrickson, who is a government official from the Dominican Republic, part of the President's Cabinet. And Carlos I've known him for about 3 years, and not saved. He, rough language, and the President sent him to the United States to thank the people of First Assembly of God, Fort Myers, where Pastor Dan
Which is
Betzer
a
was.
huge missionary church.
Huge. And to thank them publicly for sending Hope International to
that
the
wonderful?
Dominican Republic. Now, I was a little bit concerned because I know how Carlos talks. And I introduced him to the congregation after Pastor Betzer welcomed me to the platform. And I didn't know what Carlos was going to do. But if you look at this clip, you'll find out exactly what God did.
Take a look.
In case you don't know it, we love missionaries here, and we support a bunch of them. One of our favorites belongs to us. He's a member. He and his wife Debbie are members of this church. I met him a long time ago, a long time ago, when they were pastoring in Michigan. Very successful church, and God called them into missions work, and a plan so audacious that it scared Springfield to death. And God has used this couple in such a powerful way. Kurt and Debi Holthus have ministered in the Dominican Republic, and they've just come back, as you know, from another one of their incredible trips when so much was done for the kingdom. And they're bringing back with them today, this is a first. This is a first. A very high-ranking government official from the Dominican is here as well, and Kurt will introduce him. Welcome, Kurt and Debi Holthus today.
I'm really excited this morning to be able to introduce to you a government official from the Dominican Republic who has served as liaison to the United Nations, assistant to the President, and now special counsel to the Minister of Health. Would you please welcome Carlos Andrickson? Carlos, would you come?
Good morning, everybody. Pastor, good morning. It's kind of hard for me to say anything after that video. I kind of lost my words. I'm sorry. I am very emotional, and I'm sorry that I'm not as eloquent to express exactly what I feel, the gratitude, the grace that I feel inside of me. Never felt this way before. It is strange. It's weird. I'm experiencing something that I haven't experienced before. And I thank God overall. I'm sorry. I cannot understand exactly what I feel. It's undescribable to me. It's that experience that I'm pretty positive that you have felt before. God, thank you. Pastor not only talks, he really does the walk. And he convinced me, and that's exactly why I'm here. In 17 years, no one has taken the opportunity to thank you. And this is exactly what I am, what I'm here for, to thank each one of you for allowing this to materialize. In the name of my president, Danilo Medina Sanchez, and of the Lord, I am grateful and thankful. Thank you very much for all your support.
What an incredible testimony. There's an official from the Dominican Republic sat in that service, and the Spirit of God touched him, and he didn't know what had happened to it.
Yeah, that was Sunday morning. This one was Sunday morning, and Monday we sent him home. He had the exact same experience. He was watching the video on his iPhone over dinner over in Miami before we put him on the plane, and he just dropped his phone on the table, tears coming down his face, gave his life to Christ, and he's doing great.
Well, praise the Lord. There's something very special and kind of, I think, puts the word, the message of the gospel, a jump start.
Right.
When you get a government official that will okay your ministry. And did you say, is he the one who would say to you, you're not taking any money from my people?
Yeah, I mean, in the clinics, when he first came to our clinics, he stayed with us the entire first year, which was 3 years ago that he was in power. And he said to one of our pastors from the Dominican Republic, he said, Robert, he says, I don't see them taking any money from our people. And Robert told him, Pastor Robert said, they have never taken any money from our people in 17 years of doing this. They don't do that. They come to bless, not to take. And so God has given us favor in the villages. God has given us favor with the pastors of the country, and God has given us just uncommon favor with the government, which we don't take for granted. We thank God for it every day.
Is the Dominican a socialist nation?
No, they're a democracy. They are a democracy, and it's amazing. Some people would think that the Dominican Republic, because it's Spanish, is Catholic, predominantly Catholic, but actually the evangelical church is number one in the Dominican Republic.
So why do those nations stay so poor? Are there no natural resources or education or something that holds
Everything
them
is
back?
tourism, and tourism took a huge hit this year.
COVID.
I mean, we were blocked from going to the Dominican Republic in 2020 because of COVID. They closed the borders there, closed the borders here. So we were trying to figure out, how can we send hope? How can we take hope? We couldn't go personally. But what happened is God dropped into my heart, all of the medicine that we have there in the Dominican Republic is going to expire. And we had masks, and we had rubber gloves, and we had gallons, 25 gallons of hand sanitizer. And so we called the doctors that we knew there in the Dominican Republic. Pastor Robert took them to our storage unit, and for 7 hours through FaceTime, we went through every box, and we literally filled 19 medical facilities across the country, and the doctors stood there with the masks in their hand. They were,
we were doing.
They were in tears. They said, "These masks they're better than gold. We are working in COVID units without any mask, without any rubber gloves, and this medicine will save the lives of thousands." So,
praise the Lord for that. And we've got a website up. They have a wonderful website. It's very easy to navigate. And maybe you just had a bell go off in your head. Oh, yes, I know a place that has a lot of gloves or masks or
You could
whatever.
use all of that.
And she said beanie babies.
Beanie babies,
Flip-flops.
hygiene, flip-flops, hygiene supplies, shampoos, soap.
So there might be businesses that have some that have
Right.
been in the stockroom for a long time. They can't sell them.
yep.
Go to that website and you can contact them through that. Debbie, do you kind of reach out to the women, and how are their lives different than
We
here in
do.
the United States?
We do, and what we've found, especially now through the Pastors Conference, what happened in the past, women are not respected. there in general. And in some ways it's gotten better, but it was even in the church. And so we had done pastors' conferences for several years, and then we had a lady pastor from the States that God had laid on her heart to go, Pastor Connie, and she said,
First Assembly.
I would love to minister to the women. And so we incorporated a women's conference. And after the first year, the presbyter of that region had come to us, and he said, that conference has changed the face of our church. And we really didn't realize the impact, but what happened was, with what she taught and how she spoke and empowered the women in a positive, not a rebellious way, and with the men, it saved marriages, it saved churches, and then they were able to go and pour into their women. So we have seen, the women are very hard, well, Dominicans are very hardworking. They're very resourceful, and the women are very hardworking. And so that's part of.
Very grateful too.
Well,
Yeah.
if their main industry is tourism, what would I see if I would go there? I'm just going to show you my ignorance right now. So.
Well, go ahead, Deb.
Well, you would see, this is what one pastor's wife came with us one year, and she said, she said, I thought that we would be staying in this beautiful area, and then every day you would take us to a area that's poor, and then we would come back out. And then the next day, and every day we do go to a different village, but what shocked her was all the area is poor.
Everything.
So you have, in general, you have like a 2% of higher income, and then a large percent
About 18%.
of middle income, which to us, their middle class would be, they make $250 a month.
That's high middle class.
So that's high middle class. So the people that work in the resorts would be considered middle class. And then all the rest is lower. And so they're farmers, they work in the rice paddies, they sell whatever they can sell. So they do have some agriculture, but a lot of their income is tourism.
But it's, would you call it a Christian nation?
I would say it's a strong Christian nation.
Good.
I really would. Of course, there's still the influence of voodoo from Haiti, and a strong influence of Mormonism, and just a small influence of Catholicism, but they all need Jesus. And that's what we're there to give them. The
Label
whole thing
doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're not trying to. It's not a matter of medicine. Medicine just gets us in the door, and it gives us an opportunity to share Christ with
And
them.
Beanie Babies.
Yes.
They
Listen,
get you in the door.
we had a 95-year-old grandma who we gave a Beanie Baby to. She was a lover of God.
bless
She
her
loved
heart.
God so much, and I gave her a little cow Beanie Baby, and she took it, and tears came down her face with a smile, and she cuddled it in her neck, and she said, tomorrow we will have milk. I mean, and
She'd never had a gift given to her before.
ever in her entire life, 95 years old, and 2 years later she passed away.
And we are so spoiled.
Yes, we are. Don't get me going there.
No. Yeah. Okay, you've also done missionary work in Mexico and
Yes.
India?
Yes, in Michigan,
That's a stretch
Mexico.
from
In Africa.
all the South
Africa,
America.
India. We preached the 58th General Assembly of the Church of God of India, about 25,000 people every night for 10 days. It was just incredible experience. It was a real blessing.
And then God took us to the Dominican Republic, and it got our heart.
That's it.
And so we've been
Yeah, there's
there.
a connection, isn't there? Probably rather quickly.
Yes,
They're
yes.
very appreciative and humble. And anything, I tell people, if you were to go to a Dominican's home, they would bring out their best
best.
cups and saucers that they have, and it may be chipped, but whatever it was, it's their best. And they would offer to make you coffee, and then they would serve it to you on a tray with a doily. And so I tell people, Dominican Republic hospitality is the best that they have, plus a doily, because
that's absolutely inspiring. If you just join me, I'm talking to Kurt and Debi Holthus. that website is on the screen, and I hope the Lord is dealing with you through this story, because when you were on before, some of our viewers were touched and,
Yes.
and they helped your ministry. We love that. That gives us a reason for being. So I hope you write down the website and check on it later, but you can tell by what we're saying what a worthy ministry this is. Now, I know that you pioneered a church in Michigan, right?
Yes.
And you were a pastor there for
20 years.
period
20
of
years.
time, and it grew. It was a very successful church. The Lord does different things with different people. Some people, they're 2 years old. God calls them to the mission field, and that's where they go. But I just wondered, how do you think that has helped you to have that pastoral experience, and now you are a full-fledged missionary?
Significant.
Yeah.
Significantly. It helps us to understand.
You never lose your pastor's heart.
right.
So when you have a pastor's heart, you go in, I feel you go into situations led by that and the compassion that comes out of that. So when we're in the Dominican Republic, literally we're pastoring our team. So we'll have a team of 270 people from 69 different churches, 17 different states, all different
The team
backgrounds.
has over 200 people.
Yes.
250 to 270 every year.
So you have to have a
We rent out an entire
Organization.
resort.
Yeah, we rent out we take over the entire resort. The resort staff know us, love us, minister.
And when we
to-
come into the airport, this is funny. The porters, they can't speak English, but they have learned to say, "Hope is back." Hope
Isn't that
is back, and they
awesome?
Hope
just
is back.
they shout
Hope
it through
is
the
back.
entire
Yeah.
facility. It's just, it's heartwarming because they look forward to us being there every year.
They had shared with us that when we come, the workers, we've become good friends at the resort, and they said, you need to understand that when we say you bring hope to us, it's not the finances, it's not the medicine even.
the message.
It's the message.
It is, it
and they
is.
said it carries them through.
And I'm so thankful that I have an opportunity to just put a spotlight on this kind of a ministry and to bring it to you, because, you know, it's just amazing how the kingdom of God works. We
Amen.
are workers together. There's
Yes.
nobody that's really more important than anybody else.
Better
We're
together.
workers together, and it is an honor. And it's an honor for me to sit here and talk to you too, but we're out of time. So join me next time, remembering there's no higher calling than that of a homekeeper. God bless you.
If you should miss a Homekeepers program, you can catch up by going to www.ctnonline.com. Click on CTN Programs and then on Homekeepers.